Under growing consumer and stakeholder pressure, companies globally are adjusting their business practices to align with the 2050 net zero emissions targets set by the Paris Agreement. But how credible are corporate climate plans and how prevalent is greenwashing? That's false or misleading claims of environmental action. We're joined by SAPHIRA Rekker, Senior Lecturer, Sustainable Finance at the University of Queensland. Your research saw the University of Queensland, Oxford and Princeton all come together in the name of greater transparency and clarity around corporate climate commitments. So what exactly did you find?
Well, we found that, we analysed the 10 largest power generation companies in Australia and 10 global cement companies. And most of them were not aligned. So there was one company, one power generation company that was Paris aligned. But the research was very much about, a scientific basis of what it actually means to be Paris compliant. So we wanted to set some conditions and requirements surrounding the term Paris compliant, just because it's thrown around so much, Paris aligned, Paris compliance, and we just wanted to set some scientific rules surrounding what that really means.
With that in mind then, why is it so important for companies to set short, medium and long-term goals when it comes to managing climate risk?
Because the emissions in the next 5 to 10 years are going to determine whether or not we have any chance on meeting the goal. So setting a net zero target to 2050 is in a way not Paris compliant, because emissions need to be reduced, need to be cut by roughly half by 2030. So if you keep your emissions the same until 2030, then we actually are already emitting the whole carbon budget, and we're already going to hit the 1.5 and exceed it.
Indeed, you did find that deep decarbonisation will be required this decade very quickly to meet Paris compliance. So what's the best way forward for companies to even start this journey, which could seem very overwhelming to many of them?
Well, first, if you have not already done so, I guess measure your emissions. So that's the first step. And then you can go to, for those three sectors, we have a website, areyouppariscompliant.com. We will be uploading tools shortly where you can assess your Paris compliance. So you can then work out a strategy to align yourself truly with the Paris Agreement.
Investor sentiment aside, do you believe before long all companies will have no choice but to take action given growing public pressure globally?
Yes, I definitely don't see it going away, and if anything, the pressure is increasing, and I think society is realizing more and more that this is the only option we have. The alternative is just much worse. So it's important we invest in the transition as soon as possible.
What do you think realistically things are going to look like in, say, 10, 20 and 30 years? Are we going to see significant improvements or not?
Realistically is a very hard concept, I guess, in this area. It's on us. I think it's on all stakeholders in society, government, companies, individuals. We can meet the goals of the Paris Agreement, but it requires all of these stakeholders to take rapid action. And I certainly hope that we will see really vast emission reductions year on year.
Would you say the message, as far as you can see, is finally getting through after so long?
Yes, I do. When I started my PhD 10 years ago, this would not have created much interest. But I think that the fact that we did a pilot with the managers who manage the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, the Norwegian fund, indicates how interested industry and investors really are in this, that are serious about managing climate risk and mitigating climate change as well.
So there is a bit of a glimpse of light in a pretty doomy and depressing outlook, I guess.
Yes, exactly. It's the interest is unprecedented. I guess now, the next challenge and what we aim to contribute is to make sure that this interest is directed to things that are scientifically underpinned. So not, to cut through the greenwashing and make sure it's transparent, so that it allows all stakeholders to make climate safe decisions.